Mic check. Mic check. We gonna try to do this one live. See how it goes. But did you guys know that on Twitter, they were saying that if Kanye West doesn't drop any music, then we gonna pay you $50 per retweet? Sucker bet if I ever heard of one. Yes, indeed. So welcome to the live edition of New Music Fridays. For those of you who don't know, New Music Friday is when we pretty much don't have a major album to drop to review on. So I touch on a bunch of individual projects that came out that day. And there has been a good selection of projects that came out that I do believe should be touched on a little bit. Starting with that Kendrick Lamar with Baby Keem, Family Ties, in which I think this is more a Baby Keem song. Now, I like the way that this was shot. Like the video for it, for those of you who haven't seen, it's shot like a family photo album, but like in motion because it's all videos and it's all just popping up in front of you and none of it's really all that connected. Like, so you see the creativity of what the director is bringing to the table. And I think there's a bunch of cool moments from that. Like how there was the scene where he was dancing with the ballerinas, then he walked off into his old album cover. And then when he was in the old album cover, you see the shadow of him still doing everything that he was doing while he was with the ballerinas. And then he walked back into that. Like, that took time and effort. I don't know exactly how they did that, but it was done. But that was done, like, pretty well. Like, I definitely enjoyed that. But my issue with this whole music video in general is it comes off very cluttered. Like, they keep throwing in different visuals that have no relation to each other, but yet they just keep jumping them and throwing them on top of the next, on top of the next, on top of the next. There's no organization to it that I can see off of the first few times of watching it. And I mean, that's cool in terms of you'll be able to see something new each time that you watch it, but there's no grand scheme that's keeping you watching this. Like, the music has to be really dope in order for this to work. You feel me? And I really don't feel as though the music was extremely working. Like, it's complex amongst the what you expect a Kendrick project to be complex, like on every aspect, with Baby Keem involved as well. Like, everything about it, from the audio to the flows to the delivery, everything was complex. But complexity does not equal quality music all the time. And this is one of those examples of, you know, people going to enjoy it because there's a lot of things that you can see, a lot of different things that you can take from this, a lot of good complexity, but it's not a great song that I would keep on a playlist. So therefore, it's extremely limited. See, great music gets played over and over and over, no matter how many times you reuse the same visuals, no matter how many times you do the same exact video. You can still get away with it if the music is dope enough. But a bad song, or a song that doesn't intrigue as much as people would like it to be, you could be as creative with everything else as you want to be. It's not going to go that far because the music is why people are here. But still, I enjoyed it. It just came up a bit short on everything that I wanted it to be. So you should go ahead and peep it out to be entertained, but I don't think that song is that amazing. The next project I want to talk about is that Grip. I died for this. As Grip is the next shady MC that I talked about in the Hip Hop Stocks. If you already have seen that, or if you haven't, you should watch that, because this is pretty much the next shady MC that fits into the same exact format that Shady looks for in all of his artists, which is diverse, more heavily lyrical than anything other than that. Like, he fits into that context of where They focus more on lyrics than actually delivering quality music. And that's not a good thing in the grand scheme of everything. But in this case, Grip is a bit different. See, usually Eminem seeks after the Midwest to Northern, like punchline caliber rappers, but in this case, Grip comes off more as a Kendrick influence. So he's more creative than most. Now, will I say that the album was super creative, super entertaining? Not really. Like, there's only one song off this that I would say I enjoyed, and it happens to be the one with Eminem on there, which is unique because, and it's called the song Walkthrough. What's unique about that is Eminem usually never features himself with any of his new artists that he signed to his label. He usually tries to let them fend for themselves and not give them promotion because he doesn't want to drag down his name in case if they don't make it, which is messed up in the grand scheme of things. Like, Eminem has passed the point of being to the forefront of what the music industry is. He's never going to be that again. He's still got a huge audience, but he's never going to be the focal point of the music industry again. So therefore, he needs to be using this to propel all of his new artists into the highest regard that they can possibly be. And hopefully with him being featured on Grip on this and showing that he's doing promotional tours trying to promote his new artists, maybe he's getting up out of that, but I'm not putting money on it because when you do things one way, that's how you do things always, and I don't think he's changed. But as I said, man, there's only like one song off this whole project that I did enjoy, and that was the Walkthrough. The rest of it was cool. Not anything amazing, not nothing that I would recommend, but you should still listen to it like one good way. You should listen to it one good time. And for all you Kendrick fans who's going to be upset, oh, he's still in the flow, he's still in delivery, let it go, because Kendrick isn't going to be here forever. So more people need to pick, everybody's coming up have been growing up off of what Kendrick has done for a very long time. So it's all but natural for his bloodline to begin to emerge amongst some of the more popular individuals. It is what it is. The next song I wanted to touch on was that Butter remix with Megan Thee Stallion and BTS that finally dropped, that Megan Thee Stallion took her record label to court in order for this remix to actually happen. And this is exactly what I thought it would be. It's K-pop, which is heavy hip-hop and rock and roll influence, where all of that comes back to us. So therefore, I was saying that Megan Thee Stallion is going to fit in with anything that they deliver, any kind of remix, any kind of anything, because she is a product of our culture, and the music is a product of our culture, so she's going to be just fine. And as soon as this song dropped, it trended to the top of Instagram and on Twitter mostly. It trended immediately, even though it just feels like a copy and paste verse. It's not a true remix like how R. Kelly would do. You feel me? Like R. Kelly would switch up the beat, switch up the verses, have everything new about it except for the theme of it is exactly what the original theme was, but yet he would do it and he would do it better. Just like how the remix to Ignition gets way more play than Ignition to this day. And it's for a reason. That remix was that much better because R. Kelly made the remixes into its own entity. But yet that's something that hasn't consistently moved on with the culture as music has continued to move forward. Instead, people have been getting much more lazy. But I will say the song is good. Meg fits in where she needs to fit in, as it's like a copy and paste like feel to it, but it still works. She's getting her opportunity to become the worldwide pop star that many people thought that she could be. And I wouldn't blame her if she took it, but be careful what you ask for, because if she does decides she wants to be a big pop star instead of the hot girl summer representing for hip hop like people wanted her to be in the beginning, realize many things that all culture allows and accepts, other cultures and their music will not. So therefore, if she wants to be accepted to be as big and make all of the money throughout the world, many things about her is going to have to change. So be prepared for that moment when you got to say, oh, I used to like Megan, but she done changed all the way. This is the point where that ultimately can happen. And the last project I want to talk about is that Ray Vaughn, Peer Pressure. Seemingly Kendrick Lamar's replacement on the label TDE. Because as I said in the last video that Kendrick Lamar is up out of it. And understand this, like the mid-major record labels, they find the value in how many people they can build a buzz around and get enough notoriety that major labels will come in and sign them. We see this with all of the acts, not just TDE, but you see it with Quality Control. And you see Dreamsville is becoming somewhat of the same thing. Honestly, I think TDE's best investment in terms of new artists that's about to come out to do newer and bigger, better things would be getting Nick Grant and putting him into what could become a supergroup. Now I think that's going to be the biggest and best investment that can get signed to multiple different labels and get a lot of money coming out of it. But besides that, man, the grind never stops. So they're constantly in search of newer and bigger talent that they can continue to push and do something. But there'll never be another Kendrick Lamar to come out of TDE. Let's keep that 1,000 here. Like, that kind of talent comes once in a million that actually can pop and actually can get Dr. Dre to actually do music again. Like, that's never going to happen. So we should not put these kinds of anticipations, that kind of pressure on Ray Vaughn not to, like, because the album's called Peer Pressure, but whatever. Like, we shouldn't put that kind of pressure on Ray Vaughn because Ray Vaughn got to be the best version of Ray Vaughn that he can be. There's nothing that's guaranteeing that he's going to get any promotional dollars. There's nothing guaranteeing that he's going to actually pop the way any of the acts on this label has done before, on the high end or on the low end. He's got a lot to prove. And listening to this project, man, I think there's a lot of talent there. And it's necessary for for a label like TDE to do this because, Sony Music, who's one of the biggest, if not the biggest record labels out there right now, they have a crap record on finding quality talent, quality acts, so they go ahead and outsource everything to individual labels that specialize like Dreamsville, Quality Control, TDE. You feel me? And out of this brief EP, Peer Pressure, which is only 3 tracks, I cannot say that I'm thrilled. Cannot say that any of these songs made a playlist. Cannot say that I'm even entertained by any, I will probably never listen to this EP again. But what I will tell you is I can hear the talent there. He has the delivery. He has the flow. He has the creativity. He can make it happen. But there's a difference between having the talent to make it happen and executing hits on the highest regard. We've come across plenty of people who have had the talent to change the game, who actually, people still thinking that they can actually do something. Look at dude from Rock Nation who just dropped an album. You feel me? Jay Electronica. Many people looked at Jay Electronica like, yo, this guy, he has the skill set, he has the knowledge to be able to change the way that the music industry is going. How did all those projections go? Jay Electronica didn't change nothing because he didn't have the work ethic to do it. He ended up getting with that Baron chick who got all of the money or whatever, and he's had no interest in actually dominating music. All of his stuff that he has released, I don't think it was like all that great that people wanted it to be. He was one of the most epic disappointments. So therefore, when I tell you Ray Vaughn has the talent to actually succeed, a lot of people have the talent. What I need to see is your work ethic. What I need to see is your grind. What I need to see is you going out there every day, putting forth the best that you can at every show. You delivering music on a consistent basis. And that consistent music reaching a caliber of level that people want to rock with. You promoting yourself day in, day out, becoming the biggest act that you can so that you too can end up just leaving TDE for greener pastures because you have become that big that it makes no sense for you to still be on a mid-major label when it's time for you to go out there and go get yours. You feel me? Overall, I will say, man, this week wasn't that bad of music. I mean, we still waiting on this Kanye West album where Apple Music just came out with a new drop date. Do you believe that or do you not? That's on you. Like, I'm tired of waiting on somebody to release some music that odds are it's not going to be that amazing. Like, now, but I will say, this is doing wonders for Kanye, though. Like, this is actually helping push Kanye's promotion to a whole nother level because he's doing different listening parties in different cities in massive venues that's bringing the people out. This is creating a whole new lane. Like, he's doing a tour on an album that's never came out yet. And he's selling out. He's selling out the venues. He's selling out his products. He's selling out everything at that moment. Like, who would have thought that you can do all this without even dropping an album? Only a crazy mind like Kanye West, who has this ability because he's so popular on this regard. Like, he could legitimately go platinum off of, like, sales from these actual venues and stuff in terms of, let's just say, clothing, not per se the music and all that stuff, or maybe even through streams of all of these streams that they're doing for Apple Music. Like, what if he goes platinum doing this before the record even drops? Like, that's next level promotion. That's next level, like, thinking of what you gonna do next. But I will say that it's trash, though. I will say it's next level, but it's not a good look for what anybody really wants out of music. Like, if you're not going to drop, fam, I'm not going to be excited for you. But that's it. That's it for today's show, man. You know, usually when I film these things, man, they take me about 15 minutes, and then I drop it down in editing down to 10 minutes. And then I add all of the photos and all of that stuff along with it, man. It's a enjoyable experience, but I wanted to try this one live to test to see if everything is as I think they should go. I will go back to a typical format next week, usually, well, especially if Kanye West drops. But this was fun. Leave a comment, leave anything, bro. Leave a like, follow your boy. And I'm probably going to come right back. I'm probably going to, like, queue up this Street Fighter and then have a quick session for the rest of the night. But you guys be easy.